we have our next guest here, a very, very I'm excited about this guest, Jamie Awford from BNBuilders. BNBuilders is a reasonably good-sized company, if I understand correctly. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about BNBuilders. What do you do, and how do you do it?
We are a West Coast builder. We've got offices from Seattle down to San Diego. I'm here in the San Diego office, and we've been here for the last 4 years. We get known for doing technically challenging projects, so we're known for life sciences, healthcare, working with pharmaceutical clients, universities, and commercial companies.
So you do the work that others can't do. You take on the tough jobs.
Well, I like to say we don't get the easy ones.
Yeah. So tell us, what does that mean? Tell us about some of the projects you've done in town.
So we're working with Illumina right now, just over here in UTC.
Right.
Gilead up in Oceanside, doing work for UC San Diego. And we do work for assisted living complex up in Rancho Bernardo called Casa de las Campañas. Mm-hmm. And we do a lot of work for a lot of public institutions and private companies.
Yeah, interesting. I know one of my clients down in southeast San Diego is trying to expand from their retirement community into assisted living. And they definitely, if they can get the financing on the projects they're looking for, definitely got to connect you up with them.
That market is starting to boom. I think the baby boomers are starting to sunset, and the assisted living market is really picking up.
Wow. So you can take on the routine work as well, the just regular tenant improvements, correct?
Yeah, we do a lot of tenant improvements. A lot of people are moving around in San Diego, so we're getting work on both ends, from where they're moving from and where they're moving to. And typically we're doing the technical projects, so there's a laboratory component or some type of complexity to the work that we're doing.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm thinking about one of our other guests too. You remember Deb Hubers?
Yeah.
From Levita RX. She's got I don't know if you a compound pharmacy. So she put together quite the little facility down there.
Okay.
So and who knows? She's growing so fast. She's probably going to need to expand. So I'll have to connect the two.
Yeah, there's so much commercial building that's going on in San Diego and in Southern California. It's actually exciting. You know, all the the growth that's going on. What sets you guys apart? How have you guys been able to capture such a part of that marketplace and be competitive given all the other builders out there?
Well, we are really known for our people. A lot of our people have worked for some of the larger organizations, so they come with these great backgrounds and technical skills. We do these projects that we talked about that are technically challenging, so there's a limited amount of firms out there that can take on those types of projects. The market is picking up. It's very busy in Northern California right now and in the LA market, and typically we see that moving down to San Diego about 12 to 18 months later.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, because you guys have other locations.
We do. We actually self-perform work too, so we're not just a general contractor. We actually have crews. So we do drywall, concrete, doors, frames, and hardware, and other parts of projects that make us a little more nimble and flexible.
That's great. Well, my hat's off to anybody that brings in large blocks of employment for San Diegans here, and you have about 250 employees here.
We do. That's up and down the West Coast.
Right.
We have 50 here in San Diego. And I'm glad you brought that up, Barry, because one of the things we really strive to do is to create opportunities for small businesses. And so we create bid packages that enable some of the smaller contractors in San Diego to get some of the work.
That's great.
Now, how do you do that and why?
Well, we can actually structure our bid packages for areas that we don't self-perform.
So you're just like kind of outsourcing, or you're farming that out, basically?
You could call it that. We actually have subcontracts too. We don't do all the work. So we look at what market availability is for certain trades, and we target those markets here locally so we can continually feed the local community.
Oh, I love that.
That's interesting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, you're the principal here in the San Diego office. What does that mean? Because I hear principal and I think, oh, gosh, that's the school headmaster, and I'm going to get in trouble. What does that mean, you're the principal?
Well, we are a flat organization, so we do have 12 shareholders in the company. I am one of them. We are run by management teams in each of our offices, so there's no one person in charge. We like to work as a group. We are very collaborative, so we have different people with different expertise, and my area is in the higher education market and working downtown.
That's great.
Oh, okay. Downtown. So tell me some of the projects that you personally, as the principal, can say, hey, that's one of mine.
Well, the New Main Library that you guys talked about earlier, that's one of my projects.
Wow.
Yay!
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I love that building. I got to work on the new airport expansion and several of the condos that were built during the last boom we had here about 7 or 8 years ago.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Okay, what about the community involvement? I know you guys are active in that area.
Oh, that's one of the things I think that really does set us apart. We don't just work in the community. We actually try to give back to the community. Last year, we got to work for a nonprofit school. It's the Waldorf School of San Diego, and we actually went and built 2 science classrooms for the kids there. Did it over the summer months, so when they came back to school, they had 2 brand new biology and chemistry laboratories for their ongoing education. We also work for the food bank. We work for Boys and Girls Club, Rebuilding Together, and going to be talking to some of your other guests about other things we can do here in the local community.
That's
Good.
great.
We love that when we're making connections, right, Barry?
Well, that's what it's all about. So you're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at Barry@CloseUpSanDiego.com, or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-host, Andrea Kay, and Urban Miaris, and our guest is Jamie Awford from BNBuilders. So, it brings to mind some of the charitable work that we've seen done. We had REIG on, who did a $100,000 home improvement as a give back to one of our military families. You do a lot of that kind of give back work in the community too, don't you?
We do. We try to find areas that we can create impact. We like to do small construction projects. We've done some repainting of some depressed facilities. We do beyond construction, though, too, whether it's helping with the homeless, working in some of the soup kitchens, the food bank, which I mentioned, where we repackage food. So that's just part of our culture, is making sure that we're part of the community and we're giving back.
That's great. That's great.
That's what makes a business well-rounded, is not only them doing business, the commercial side of it, the sales side of it, but also giving back. Too many businesses in San Diego, unfortunately, and if you're listening, hope you take note of this, give us a call if you're not giving back to the community in some way. Mm-hmm. We need you. The community needs you.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at the man that is a absolute legend in this town, Mr. Urban Miaris over there. Who, one of the things that I've had to try to teach you how to do is ask for help. Okay, you're good at asking for help. You don't ask for any money, so you need to have people, get in touch with you and actually fulfill your charity instead of you putting all the money into it, Urban. So.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
My wife will agree with you.
Talking about me.
Right, exactly. Well, speaking of you, though, yes. You're the principal now. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you rose to that position.
Yeah.
Well, I actually got involved in the construction industry about 25 years ago up in Seattle. Had the opportunity to work on a large tunnel project that goes into underground Seattle. Was enamored with construction and the sophistication and complexity that it takes to build some of these projects. And that launched me into the construction industry. Worked my way up through various parts of different companies and landed here in San Diego about 12 years ago, and I'm not leaving.
Yeah. You're not going back to that rainy Pacific Northwest, are you, brother?
No way.
No.
Yeah.
So, are you working on any projects right now you want to tell us about?
We are doing some laboratories over at UC San Diego that are for research and development. Mentioned the Illumina project that's going to be starting here later this year over here on their campus in UTC. Mm-hmm. We've got ongoing work at Gilead up in Oceanside, and then we continue to do work over at Casa de la Campañas, which is a renovation to an assisted living project.
That's great. And you've done a lot of work with some of the bigger companies across the country as well, with Apple and Google and Twitter and what have you.
Yeah, we've been very fortunate to pick up some really cool and exciting projects. In Northern California, we're doing work with Apple. We did the headquarters for Twitter, doing work with Google and Microsoft. Up in Washington, we've had work with Microsoft over in Eastern Washington and now over in their Redmond campus. And we get some of these cool projects that really start to profile who we are as a company.
Now, there's a lot of focus these days on green and being green and green building. What does that mean to you and to BNBuilders?
It's actually almost standard operating procedure. Most of our projects, we do as much recycling as we can. We're looking at LEED certified buildings almost on every project that we work on. Whether it goes through certification or it just has those elements, it's really integral to the part of work we do.
What does that mean by LEED certified buildings?
So there's a USGBC, which is the Green Building Council, actually certifies buildings silver, gold, and platinum. And it's really based on a variety of components, but it's water, energy, recycled content, and it's driven by the design concepts, and it's executed by the contractors.
That's great.
Interesting. How do you stay on top of it all? As the principal, you've got all these projects you got to manage, you've got all these employees you got to manage, you've got all this new technology you got to stay on top of to make sure that that's getting implemented? How do you stay on top of it all? How do you manage your time?
Well, just don't get overwhelmed by all of it. We really have great people, and I got to say our staff are really key to the success of our business. So, in my role, I do a lot of the upfront business development. I'm helping lead projects as a project executive and making sure our clients are really satisfied, so they ask us to come back.
That's great. Well, we're starting to run short on time. Tell our listeners how they can find out more about BNBuilders.
Well, you can find us at BNBuilders.com on the web. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media forums. So if you're interested in a builder, come look for us.
That's great. So BNBuilders.com, correct?
That's correct.
Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being with us. We're ready for a break, and I look forward to getting together with you and seeing all the other things we can do together.
I appreciate it.
Well,
Thanks,
please
Barry.
put on a hard hat if you're going to go out on any of his job sites.
Okay,
No
okay.
choice.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170, theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at Close Up San Diego or Close Up SD, or just find our page on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Every way I'm taking care of business.